Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, out there on Facebook or YouTube, or just enjoying the afternoon. And I want to throw this topic out there just for some good general discussion. I'd like you to throw it around, and if you come back with some good ideas, post them. You probably got some ideas that beat the ones I got all the heck, because sometimes an idea comes forward and somebody grabs it and makes it better. So my topic today is downsizing. And over a lifetime, we live a lifetime raising family members, and sometimes you wind up with a house that's 20 years old and you have a basement and maybe one or two floors above it, just chock full of furniture because you raised a family of 3 or 4 kids. And of course, now they're moved out and you've tried to give away all the stuff you can. Nobody wants it. Now, remember, if we don't downsize, what's going to happen? That stuff's going to be there for our children to move when we die. Now, the other thing that we should be thinking about, and I'm very lucky because I'm living in an apartment with an elevator, stairs and an elevator. And a lot of people, including myself, if you were raised in a home, you have 2 or 3 floors and all of a sudden stairs. Now that's fine when you're young and your children are young, but when you get older, the stairs are tough because you wind up with a walker and you can't climb up and down the stairs in your house because you have a walker. So you can't even get up to take a look at what the heck spare stuff you got that you don't use anymore. So I think to start off with, I'd like to just throw this comment out there and have somebody tear it apart. Let's take the bottom line approach and go down to the morgue and talk to the funeral director and say, can I lay in one of those boxes? Casket. Get in there and lay down, put your feet out, touch the bottom, and lay your head back on the pillow, and run your hands along your right side and your left side and between your legs and see how much space you got. And what you're doing is you're analyzing the stuff that you can take with you. You might have room for a couple of books, maybe. But remember, if you're taking a book along, you're not going to be able to read anyway because you're going to be gone, you're going to be dead. So we really don't need a heck of a lot of stuff. Now, in my particular case, I've chose cremation, so I'm not going to have anything to go with me. Just a bunch of ashes, and the ashes are going to be scattered. So I encourage people to really take a hard look at what you're living in. And think about this. If you've got a bunch of stuff that's not required, offer it to your family first off and see if they want it. And if they don't want it, go down to the used shop, tell them we've got share and win, and they'll take used stuff off your hands. Ask them ahead of time and show them a list of what you got. And downsize. Get rid of all the extra dishes and all the cooking utensils and stuff you don't need, extra beds and fridges and everything. Just saves the basic necessities. And in doing that, you might get a few dollars if you post it on Facebook, on Facebook Marketplace. And if you don't, just think about this. When you give something away, you get a nice feeling because you're getting it out of your way and you're making more space. And also, the person who gets it is going to get a nice feeling because he gets something free. So there's a real happy feeling generated there in two bodies, in two hearts, the giver and the receiver. And I know there's a lot of emotional attachment to stuff because sometimes it's stuff your dad or your mom had and you really don't want to give it away. But, if you're not using it, if you've got a lot of good pictures and stuff like that, you can hang on the wall or have them in a zip drive and you can play them on a big screen TV to do the remembrance thing once in a while for the family. That should be adequate. Extra vehicles, old tires and engines and stuff like that, and lumber, and a lot of knickknacks that your family had. Good time to shed that stuff off. And think about it, if you can get a few more dollars, you can put it in the bank and spend it at the bank. Now, the other thing that happens to people, and I'm guilty of that a little bit, but I've got a bit of a handle on now, go downtown once in a while and there's a hell of a sale on there buying chairs and sofas and all stuff, and it's like 30% or 40% because they want to downsize and they want to shove it onto you. Now remember, if you've got a house full now, you don't need any more. So the key is to not get sucked into these buys and leave the money that you would spend on the new stuff. If you've got operational stuff now that's doing a good job for you, you really don't need to replace it. And the fact that they're having a sale on is a hook. They want your money. Now, as we age, it's important that some of that money gets put into a retirement program, because as we age, we want to quit work later on. It'd be nice if we had some of that money put into a bank account. So then rather than pouring all that money into a bunch of stuff in your house that you don't need, put it into a savings account for retirement. Like I'm saying, I don't have all the answers, but I'm trying to throw some things out there for discussion. I understand it's hard to get rid of stuff, but I've been lucky. In my case, my wife passed away. Unfortunately, she had some serious lung problems, but she had a lot of knitting needles and sewing clothes and lots of stuff, knitting. So I was able to find a lady at the hospital here who was involved in a ladies' sewing circle, and they took it off my hands. They wanted to buy it give me some money. I said, no, just take it off my hands. I don't have to fall over and trip over it. And I gave my sewing machine to the daughter-in-law, and type of thing, and one of the keyboards that we had, I didn't use, I gave it to granddaughter, and I feel really good about that because somebody else is going to get some good out of it now. And I'm at the point in my life where I'm trying to downsize and just keep the very bare minimum. I'm not saying that you have to go without something, but a lot of times we have a lot of stuff sitting that we don't use and we trip over it every day, and we don't even, after a while, we don't even see it anymore until we have to haul it away and put it into an area where to get rid of it. Now, we should really think twice if we got to go downtown and rent a building to put in stuff that we don't use. To give you, for instance, let's say you've got $100 worth of material, used chairs and stuff, and you go and put it into a rental place to put it, and the rental's costing you $40 a month. So you're paying almost half of the price of the material to store it. Now, when you put it in storage, there's a good possibility it's going to deteriorate some more with water, or mice are going to eat it. And just the fact that your mom had it is insignificant. Take a look around and keep some pictures to look at. And if you got some videos, better yet, you can hear them talking and laughing and enjoying life. So let's have a good look at the topic of downsizing and how to get rid of stuff that's got an emotional attachment to it. I don't have all the answers, but I know that you people do. So let's share some thoughts and have yourself a great afternoon. Bye for now.